Hey everybody, welcome back to Striker TV. I'm your host Reaver, and today we're going to be talking about modding your Milsig K-Series to fire first strike rounds. So, here I've got my Milsig K-Series Mark 1. I've had this thing for about 4 years now, and I absolutely love this gun. This is my favorite paintball marker ever. The only real issue with this thing is, first strikes. This came out before first strikes were really popularized by markers like the T9.1 and the T4. And so it doesn't, out of the box, and same with any of the other Milsig K-Series markers, doesn't have the capability to shoot first strike rounds from a magazine. So, fast forward to last year sometime, Scarab Arms, a new company based out of, I think they're based out of Vegas, came out with a marker they call the TGR2. And one of the cool things about that is their magazines. This is a Scarab, they call it a Mag 12. It holds 12 standard paintballs and 10 first strike rounds. And one of the features that they touted with the TGR2 is that it will work with any of the round collar magazines on the market, including magazines from Milsig and Wrap, as well as their new proprietary magazine, which, if you can, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this magazine works with shaped projectiles, which means first strikes. So the only problem with that is this is one of the newer 20 round mags from Milsig. It's got a round collar. You can tell it's the newer one because of the red follower. And it's the Scarab mag. Essentially what you're trying to do without modding your marker is you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to work. So today I'm going to show you exactly what I did to my K-Series to be able to fire first strike rounds from the Scarab mags. So I'm going to take this thing apart and show you guys what I did. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the Milsig disassembled now. It just has the grip and the mag well on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. Alright, so basically when you're done, it's going to look something like this. As you can see, I can fit this in here, no problem. Camera's upside down, so having a little trouble getting you to see it. And as you can see, you should be able to see that. You can see the follower goes all the way up in, and there's no problems feeding that. You see? Okay. So now keep in mind, I did all of this with just a Dremel. I went through like 6 grinding bits doing this. I kept having to go up to Harbor Freight to get some new bits, but the rest of it I did with just standard file. Nice sharp edges here to get the good corners, and some needle files. So I mean, if you have access to a mill, that would be ideal. But if you don't, you can do it with just some standard hand tools, and there's no problems. So basically, when you're done, the inside of the receivers is going to look like this. So basically, sorry, I'm dropping stuff over here. And here's the other one. So you can see that. So essentially, pretty much all you need to do is just go in there with the Dremel and grind out. You have to expand this part here so that this can get all the way up there. And then flatten out back here so it works with the edge on the Scarab mag. And then when you put it in, you'll notice the detent. Just wind this up real quick. You'll notice the detent goes back. So the other part that you need to do, when you get this and get it taken apart, this is all going to be solid right here. So, what you need to do is you need to cut that out on both sides, right here, so that this detent can move back. Now, the first mag that I had, I didn't take enough out. And I actually, when I kept trying to get it to go in, I ended up snapping that detent in half. So they're not the most durable of things on the planet. But, as long as you just carefully keep taking out material back here and here, just keep working it and working it. You don't want to take out too much, but you have to make sure you take out enough so that, these things will go in. The other thing I didn't have any JB Weld left, so I actually used some silicone sealant right here. You have to fill in this slot in the Picatinny rail right here so that it can actually push down the detent. So, and we're gonna do a quick cut here so I can change camera batteries. So anyway, like I said, it's a pretty straightforward mod. You may or may not have to grind down, one of these screws here that hold the whatever this is called, the feed port cover, because it may come into the the area where the mag goes in, but that's up to you. You might not have to. I don't think I did. So, it's something to keep in mind. So, when you fill in, I would actually recommend using JB Weld to fill these in as opposed to silicone. But that's just all I had. And it hasn't, there's only a little tiny bit of it in there, so it stayed really firm. So I haven't really had any issues with it. And I've been playing with this thing like this for a couple months now. So, and just to show that it will actuate the magazine when you put it in, I'm going to wind this up real quick. So let's see, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but no, not really. But when you put it in, that won't work without this on there. Let's slide that on. Okay. Put the mag in, and you hear it, you're good to go. So, it's the followers all the way up. It's nice and flush. And like I said, I haven't had any problems getting this thing to work. It's been combined with the Marksman barrel. It's insane what this is able to do. So, I'm going to take this off of here for right now. So, the other thing you have to do is, take a look at your bolt here. This is the stock K-Series bolt. You'll notice that it's slanted now. So I'm going to bring this thing up and focus on it here. So you'll notice, it's now got a taper to it. So it comes out, instead of being, just a straight cylinder, it now has this taper. And what that allows me to do is actually fit a first strike. This will fit within the back of a first strike round, which will help, instead of just jabbing the back. It does a couple of things. It helps you to keep from snapping the fins on the back, and it also gives it a little bit better air efficiency. So, it's super simple. I just went around the edge of it with a file, and haven't really noticed any issues with it. On the bottom here, I actually gave it a longer slope so that as it slides over, I don't actually have any first strikes up here at the moment, but I'll show you what it does. As it slides over, because of that longer slope there, it actually affects, it gives it a better chance of not screwing up the next round in the magazine, so that the next round can just slide right up, and then it, goes forward again and fires. So it makes it a little bit smoother. You may or may not have to do that. I played around with it. It's a good thing I had like 4 of these bolts. But that's what I found to work the best, at least in my circumstances. So yeah. And then the only other thing you have to do is a modification to the magazines themselves. Because of the way these magazines are, it's probably a little out of focus there. Go the other way. Because of the way these magazines are, the follower release actually sits just a little bit farther forward on the Scarab mag than it does on the Milsig. I don't really know why. But in a Scarab marker, this is going to work perfectly fine. But with the Milsig, because it sits just a tiny bit farther forward, sometimes when you insert the mag, this release doesn't actually get depressed. And so you'll see that piece of white plastic in there. I don't know how much farther forward I can bring this, but let's see. It's about as good as it's going to get right there. But basically all I did was I took like a piece of an old credit card or gift card and cut it and then super glued it in there. So what it does is it now forces this follower or this release to sit just a little tiny bit farther to the back. And it now, every time it goes in, because I used to have to tap, sometimes tap that magazine to get the release to actuate. But now, every time I put that in there, it releases exactly like it's supposed to. Boom. Do it again. No problems. It seems to be able to feed all the rounds now, which before sometimes it would jam up. Every time. So, it's a really simple thing. You may notice that, the detent release here is a little bit shorter than normal. You don't have to do that to the Milsig, but I also use this in my MK5, and in order for the mag to go all the way in, I had to file that down just a little bit. It doesn't affect the way the mag functions at all. Obviously you can see it still works in the Milsig just fine, but it also now functions flawlessly in the MK5. So, I hope that helps you guys out. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. either via YouTube or Facebook, or jump on our forums, and you can comment there. I think I may have fixed the registration, so if anybody runs into any problems registering on there, just get on our Facebook page or comment via YouTube, and I'll see about getting it fixed. So don't forget to just subscribe, and I hope you guys find this video useful. And stay tuned. We're going to be out at KC Crusaders 24-hour game this weekend. I'm going to be shooting a lot of video, interviewing some players, talking to the staff, getting some killer field footage. So check that out in the upcoming week or so after this weekend. So also, as you can tell, picked up a mic, so the audio is a lot better. As well as I'm now shooting up in my tiny little office, so I've got the just the white closet doors behind me until I can get some things moved out of here and get a set built. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys, and if there's anything else you guys would like to see in the future, just let us know. And get out, go play some MagFed, go MagFed or go home. Later.